Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 6, week 6 of these little chats that we've been doing. Um, the past week has been a lot, to say the least. Today, I don't really have too much to bring you other than really just checking in and making sure that we are keeping conversations going and having conversations with each other about things that are going on. Um, So, with that in mind, I think we will start again like we usually do. We'll do our 3 breaths and then we'll do the cards after that. So, first, foremost, breaths. So, again, like always, deep breath in, hold at the top, and then exhale. So, we're going to do 3 of those. Ready? Deep breath in and out. Deep breath in. Last one, make it really, 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 really big. Biggest breath of the day. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Shake it off, move around, get some of the funkiness of the day or the week off, and then we'll go to the cards. So, like I said, sort of pre-shuffled before. I like to do that so that I can just sort of pick a random, so that really the message that we have, that we should be hearing today. So let's go. In the middle, the category is engaged, and the title of it is "Tell It Like It Is," and then the card says, "Tell someone you care about what you appreciate about them. Take a moment to describe a time where they did or said something that mattered to you, and describe why it mattered." So, thinking about, and I think we've talked about this before, appreciation and gratitude, and really uh, being appreciative for what we have in our lives and the people that we have in our lives. So, when I think about this in my own personal interpretation, um, really taking that, and we talked a little bit about it, like I said, in sort of an abstract way, and thinking about it in ourselves, and I, suggested writing it down also if you wanted to. But this is more about action. So it's really about talking to that person and telling them uh, what it is about them that you appreciate. Really taking the time to bring up an example of something that was especially helpful and that especially mattered to you, and how that impacted you. So, I think right now, especially in this social, political, health climate, really taking extra time to evaluate relationships, friendships, the connections that we have in our lives, and thinking about why those people are important, and making sure that they're aware of that, and the impact that they've had on your life. And, again, making sure that those people know, your appreciativeness and why they matter to you and how they matter in your life. And sometimes that creates dialogue. You just sort of have a deeper conversation about that back and forth with each other. So yeah, so talk to somebody, tell them why you appreciate them and how they've impacted your life. So I don't really have a lot this week. Like I said, it's been a difficult week, I think, for some of us and for a lot of us, with things that have been going on and things that we've seen in the news and on social media and all of that stuff. So just sort of everyone trying to process that. And I think that we can take some of what we've discussed and some of the things that we've talked about, um, to help support not only ourselves and our own mental health, but also those around us. And as we wade through social media throughout the day, uh, potentially coming up against things that we don't agree with, or having interactions with people who don't have the same points of view as us, I think mindfulness can really teach us a lot about how to navigate that and how to navigate those conversations and interactions. Um, mindfulness teaches us how to stop and think. Um, so really uh, allowing us to have space to listen, to observe, and to sort of be with our feelings. And especially with social media, we can have a immediate reaction where we're jumping on um, somebody, or we're jumping to someone's defense. So on the flip side of that, we see somebody who's getting maybe attacked by somebody else in the comments of their Instagram post or something. Um, and we sort of have a reflexive response, right? So mindfulness teaches us to sort of sit with it and process it and think about how we can be constructive. For example, I will tell you that I had this happen to me yesterday. It started actually 2 days ago. So Tuesday, um, somebody posted something on social media, and I responded and I said, that she was asking a question about how she could be helpful right now. And I said, Google has there's a lot of things that you can find on Google. I sort of said, Google it. This person understood what I meant. With this person and I have a dialogue. We have a connection, and we know each other outside of the social media world. She understood what I meant, and we had a conversation, her and I, back and forth, in the comments section. And I let her know that I had resources that I had posted on my Instagram. She had access to that. Some of her friends jumped in, and were sort of directing comments towards me. Uh, and I really had to sort of sit with it. And before I responded, I made sure that my response was not coming from a place of emotion and more so of wanting to give information. And then I just said, that my intention was not to discredit this person and that I never did that. But I really had to sit with it, and I really had to say, okay, well, this other person is being reflexive and trying to jump on me immediately without knowing the context of, the prior conversation between my friend and I. So I really had to sort of step back before I responded, and I ultimately decided to respond because that was one of the other things I was thinking about. Well, maybe I should just let it go and not engage in that, because it wasn't going to. I knew it wasn't going to be productive, but I sat with it for a few minutes, and thought about crafting a carefully worded, thoughtful response, to sort of try to have a productive dialogue. Ultimately, it didn't go that way, and I recognized that, and I said, with respect, this conversation isn't going to go anywhere, so I'm going to sort of bow out of it. Um, but I think we have to think about these things that way, so that we don't react from a place of emotion or defensiveness. I think is a lot of what happens. We get defensive, and we think that we need to put up walls or shields, and that's where some of the negative words or the fighting comes from. So I think right now, when we're sort of navigating social media and going through that, just making sure that before we respond, we sort of really stop and think about what we're trying to do, and listen to each other as well, and listen to each other's points of view. Um, so I have a little guide here today, but and I think that sort of parlays into the mindful communication thing. Um, these conversations are uncomfortable. I don't discredit that, and I don't discount that. Um, but trying to understand where that discomfort comes from, I think, can go a long way in um, helping us to really have those meaningful conversations, and not just in a social media world, but with our coworkers, with other family members who may not have the same point of view. Um, you know, uh, I think really understanding your upbringing, and your background, your own racial and ethnic background, um, and how that sort of has shaped your worldview, I think is really essential to understanding that, and to understanding. how we can process a lot of what's going on right now, and a lot of, you know, um, how we respond to racism and how we respond to things that we see in the news and on the media. I think that's really important as well. So much of um, so much of mindfulness is just sitting with uncomfortable feelings most of the time. So sitting with it and recognizing where it's coming from and really creating sort of a thoughtful response, I think, is important. So like I said, I really didn't have much of an agenda. I really just wanted to sort of get that out there. This is something that's been sort of on my mind for the past week. I think educate yourself. There's lots of great resources online. BlackLivesMatter.com has a whole host of resources. They have lots of information on the entire movement in general, resources on arts and culture for the Black community. There are lots of toolkits that you can use. So there's a healing action toolkit. I was created to collate, condense, and share lessons we have learned in ensuring that our direct actions are centered on healing justice. So you can go on there. They have this toolkit available for free. So if you want to sort of try to have those conversations, you can go ahead and go on that website and do that. I urge everybody to sign petitions for the lives of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, all of those folks who unfortunately have lost their lives recently in really unfortunate, terrible ways. Sign petitions, get your voice out, donate to different causes in the community. There's several here in San Diego. There's a Black Lives Matter chapter in San Diego. There are a myriad of other ways that you can donate to making sure that you are supporting, supporting our community and supporting people who have sort of had a unfair, I'm gonna word this correctly, but have been through a lot historically, and are now still dealing with the consequences of that. And institutionalized and systemic racism is still real and still happening. So do all you can. If you have questions or need additional resources, you can find me as always, adcarranza at health.ucsd.edu. I am in the office now 2 days a week. So if you call the office Tuesday or Thursday, I am there, 858-657-6028. And questions, comments, concerns, send them there, and be kind to each other, be kind to someone else, be kind to yourselves. It's a little shorter today, but just wanted to get vital information out and just make sure that we're all supporting each other right now. Take care of each other. Bye.